This is your radio, Cayman.
For the record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Wednesday, the second day of November, 2nd day of November. I'm trying to slow down the year, but that won't happen. I can't do it. So, second day of November 2022 right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian or a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. In some areas, the roadway may still be wet, so drive with extreme caution. Ensure that the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you is such that it allows you to stop without running into the rear of the other vehicle as well. When you're negotiating a roundabout, remember to use your signals, use your indicators, so that the other road users will know exactly what you're doing. And by doing those things and observing all of the other road codes, then the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. We don't have, this one, I don't have many for today, but we do have for tomorrow. Miss Gregory Scott, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Of course, we won't be on tomorrow, so we will wish you a happy birthday in advance. Also, Shanta Forbes White, celebrating a birthday. Tasha Eden, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. James Martin, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Roxanne Rankin, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Ruth Williams, celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Miss Ruth Williams. Also, and Myra Elzondo, yes, Myra Elzondo, celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and Carissa Tummings also celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. And to remind you that the birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. Make the right decision for your family's future today is the advice given by Mr. Michael Webster of Cayman Insurance Center. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. Again this morning, the beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. You can follow us on YouTube. Do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And also Facebook. Facebook is, you can follow us on Facebook as well. So we have a few more birthdays for tomorrow. Vanessa Dixon, Tanya Harrison, celebrating one on the 4th. That's on Friday, so we will catch you on Friday. Richard Christian, we will catch you on Friday as well for your birthday on the 4th. Okay, so it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Dr. Steve McField. I think the last time we heard from Doc was when he called in on Monday as well. So, Doc, good morning. Welcome. Good to have you in person rather than on the phone. Welcome back, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record, and good morning to all your listeners in the For the Record land, and those in the Cayman diaspora, and those who listen to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Good morning. Good to be back with you again. I always relish the thought of not being here for a week or so. And sometimes when we come, we have so much to talk about. We don't even get to the meat of what we have to say because the time goes by so quickly. But anyway, this morning, there's lots to talk about this morning. And I think you shared an article with me, and perhaps if you could get that back on your computer, because I lost it. Okay,
yeah, we will get that.
I lost it, yes.
And share that because share that it's extremely important.
Very important with your listening public.
Okay, there's something else that we want to I want to share also, and that has to do with the flu vaccine as well. So the Health Services Authority, they have issued a release. This was issued on the first yesterday, and it talks about the fact that the Public Health Department has issued the November schedule for it, and the flu vaccine part of it, which is what I want to share with our audience, is okay. We have contact numbers for the various districts, but so for instance, today at the Faith Hospital, you can receive the Pfizer, Moderna, and the flu vaccine from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Faith Hospital in the BRAC. And for the rest of the Cayman Islands, the District Health centers, you can receive the flu vaccine between the hours of 2 and 4 o'clock, and that's at the district health centers. So people are encouraged to get yourself vaccinated for the flu. It is flu season now, and it can be extremely, sometimes deadly. Flu can be deadly depending on your health conditions as well, your health situation. So those of you who can, please do so. And if you can't, or if you feel that you have any questions or any reservations, speak to your health provider as well, your health specialist in that regard. But keeping yourself safe is, as far as your health is concerned, that is extremely, extremely important. So with that, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, Dr. Steve McFeel will share with you a press release issued by the chair of the United Kingdom's Foreign Affairs Committee, where that chairperson has told some Commonwealth parliamentarians that, and I quote, "The foremost responsibility of any government is the security of its people." So when we return, Dr. McFeel will share with you the contents of that press release. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Rael Brazeley Bodden, Sr., MBE, JP, was born in 1885 and died at age 91 in 1976. He was best known as a shipwright who used his marine architectural skills to construct prominent historical landmarks on Grand Cayman. In so doing, Mr. Bodden carried on the tradition of his father and grandfather. In 1971, Captain Rael was recognized of his development contributions by being asked to lay the cornerstone for the Legislative Assembly building. Captain Rael built many ships, including the well-known Simboko, the Lady Slater, launched in 1934 as sister ship of the Simboko, old-time schooners, and 2 minesweepers for the Royal British Navy. The Simboko was constructed in 1927 and was the first locally built motorized ship in Cayman. For 20 years, she was Cayman's connection to the world, carrying freight, passengers, and mail between Grand Cayman and the sister islands, Jamaica and the United States. Captain Rael held the office of Admeasure of Shipping for over 45 years. He was appointed a Justice of the Peace in 1928 and served in the Assembly of Justices and Vestry. Captain Rael was married to Miss Hetty, nee Bodden, for 63 years. Together, they raised 5 children and were the proud grandparents of 22 grandchildren, many great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. He received his MBE in 1941, Her Majesty the Queen's Badge in 1954. In 2008, the Central Planning Authority celebrated the contributions of Captain Rael Bodden for his outstanding contributions to planning.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is Saturday, November 26th. Your ticket, your chance, your prize. Grand prize, $40,000. Second prize, $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. Get your $25 tickets now through Rotary Central members, Rotary Central ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, or WhatsApp Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brac at 916-7310. The Rotary Music Extravaganza at Salty's Grand Harbor. Performances by Heat, Fabulous 68s, and CNB. November 26th, you can be the winner. Proceeds fund Rotary Central Community Projects. Rotary Central NPO number 232. Rotary, all the good you imagine.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Water Authority Cayman will conduct leak detection works in Cayman Kai 2nd to 3rd of November between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. as part of ongoing infrastructure works in the area. Customers in the following roads may experience service interruptions during the course of the work, with the interruption lasting no more than 1 hour. Sandpoint Road, Sancola Close, Water Quay from the Sandpoint intersection, Finger Quay Road, Camp Drive, and Kaibo Crescent. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience this interruption service may cause and thanks the public for their patience and understanding.
With costs and insecurities rising, staying grounded and focused is what your family needs. Life insurance covers your family and mortgage protection. Peace of mind is mental health awareness.
Life insurance, the sure way to protect your family. I'm Michael Webster. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster. Let's discuss your peace of mind today. Call me at 925-5433. Think life insurance.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Dr. Steve Macfield, and in our continuing effort to keep you, the people of the Cayman Islands, informed of what is happening around you, either here in the Cayman Islands or elsewhere, we will share with you now comments made by the chairperson of the United Kingdom's Foreign Affairs Committee to Commonwealth parliamentarians, and pointing out to them, or emphasizing to them, that the foremost responsibility of any government is the security of its people. And so we will hear about that and see what the word security means to the Foreign Affairs Committee, because it may mean different things to different people as well. So it depends on what it is that you're trying to secure.
Yes,
right, Doc?
That's right.
So let's share that with our, audience.
And by the way, this conference is taking place now.
Yes.
It started on the 1st of November. And I think it goes on until the 3rd or 4th of November.
Okay.
In the UK.
Okay.
And this is what the Foreign Affairs.
And we have to try to find out who's actually representing us there.
Yes, Cayman Islands is represented there, but I don't know who's representing us from the Cayman Islands because there was no press release here to say that they were even going to a conference and whether and who was representing us. But we know from the release of this Public Affairs Committee that Cayman Islands is there, and they're representing the Cayman Islands.
Yep.
And this is what she said. The next decades of national and international security will be defined by how we build all of state resilience to hostile states. Alicia Kearns, MP, outlined today to Commonwealth parliamentarians to combat security threats. Alicia Kearns, MP, addressed over 30 parliamentarians from 18 legislatures as part of the conference on the security of national security legislation organized by the UK branch of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association. Global developments of the past years have highlighted the fast evolving nature of security threats in the 21st century. The gathering of parliamentarians, which takes place in the UK Parliament from the 1st to the 3rd of November, will be a unique opportunity for delegates to equip themselves with the skills to shape and scrutinize legislation within rapidly changing local and international security landscapes. The program will address risks to cybersecurity and climate security, consider challenges to security from both conventional and non-conventional conflict, and discuss the prevention of violence against women and girls in conflict. The chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Alicia Kearns, MP, stated ahead of the session, programs like this are vital in fostering discussions and sharing ideas for how we best protect our collective and individual security. At a time of global insecurity, the Commonwealth offers us a network of like-minded allies. By meeting and exploring our different views on security, we can all benefit and develop new strategies to protect our societies and people. Her keynote speech, which opened the conference, highlighted that the foremost responsibility of any government is the security of its people. It explored the large shift in national and international security, challenges in the last 20 years, and asked how government can adopt for these changes. Security is one of the CPA's UK's 5 priority themes, working for a safe and secure Commonwealth. CPA UK works with parliamentarians to support their activities on security by increasing awareness on the most salient issues and building capacity to support parliamentarians with their responsibilities to legislate, ensure policy scrutiny and oversight, budget approval, and consistency engagement. Legislators represented at the conference include Australia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Belize, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Cameroon, the Gambia, Zambia, Namibia, Kenya, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Gibraltar, Cayman Islands, and Turks and Caicos Islands.
Okay, so
when I read this, as I was reading this, I was thinking, what about the threat that we have from all of these traveling migrants from different places, especially from Cuba? These traveling migrants who wants to find a better life for themselves and coming to the Cayman Islands, and how secure are we? Because I understand for sometimes when you look for them, you can't find them in the places where they're supposed to be staying. I mean, how does that work? And how would that work in the UK or the US or any other Western country where you can't find people who are not even your citizens, who who are on the migrants passing through, and you can't find them. And how do we know where they come from and what they did and what they were doing for the places they came from? That is something that we ought to be discussing, and also all of the break-ins and the shootings and the killings, and also securing our properties and our personal safety from other people. That is what bothers me in the country today. It seems to me that we are not even securing our own borders here, and whether or not we are secure, maybe we should have a debate on that.
Yeah, and I have to declare an interest there because I am the member of the Refugee Protection Appeals Tribunal, so I would have to defer any comment in that regard. But what I would say though is that, and you have identified threats in that area, but I also I am thinking in terms of our existential threat as Caymanians, that threat that is there as well. And part of it has to do with our own, is as a result of our own doing in terms of the types of legislation that we have in place, legislation that may have been relevant and needed at a given point in time, that we have now passed.
Yes.
And we have failed to change that legislation to ensure that we are not overrun either legally or illegally.
That's right.
By other nationalities. That is my concern, and that's what I said. Security may have a different meaning to different people depending on what type of security that you're talking about. So the existential threat, and you, Dr. McPhee, was looking over some of the old Northwester, I should say, not North, Northwester magazines. Yes. And your remarks were these were the days, and this was 1982.
That's right.
These were the days when Caymanians were in control.
In control of their country.
Well, we'll talk more about this on the other side of the hour. Right now, it's the top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the discussion with Dr. Steve McPhee will continue, so please stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, gentlemen. Studio time now by Price Right is 8 o'clock.
This Black Friday, Priced Right is going bigger.
And it starts with a chance to win big in our Black Friday fortune.
You can score a $1,000 Priced Right gift card just by subscribing to Know Our Deals First.
Entering is easy. This month from the 1st to the 23rd, visit PricedRight.ky to subscribe and enter.
Or head to Instagram or Facebook at Priced Right K-Man for details on how to win.
You have everything to win
and nothing to lose.
Live better for less with a $1,000 Black Friday fortune at Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association's UK National Security Conference is underway this week. Member of Parliament Isaac Rankin is there, engaging in a number of seminars focused on global threats of national security and the governance of national security to, quote, better improve local legislation and government decision-making processes. In a social media post, the MP says he's, quote, honored to be representing Cayman. The conference runs through Thursday at the UK House of Parliament. 4 years, His Excellency, the Governor Martin Roper is reflecting back on his time in the Cayman Islands.
It has been inspiring and uplifting to interact with so many different people across the community and to see how much community activity and care there is for others.
Mr. Roper tells Radio Cayman he's had many, quote, extraordinary moments since taking up the governor's post, including the changeover of the Legislative Assembly into the House of Parliament, working with two governments, a visit by, at the time, Prince of Wales and now King Charles III, as well as learning to play the steel pan. The governor will be in Cayman until the end of March. And a Caymanian captain has received the prestigious Tommy Gifford Award. CIGTV's Donna Bush reports.
The Ministry and Department of Tourism are congratulating Captain Arthlee Evans, who's also called Atlee. Mr. Evans received the prestigious Tommy Gifford Award from the International Game Fishing Association recently. The Gala Awards presentation was one of the highlights of the 63rd Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Now, among his many lifetime achievements, Captain Evans is credited as having helped to develop sport fishing in the Cayman Islands, as well as throughout the Caribbean since the 1960s. He helped to place the Cayman Islands on the world's sport fishing map and was instrumental in developing the island's pelagic fishery for blue marlin, yellowfin tuna, wahoo, and swordfish. He's also set numerous light tackle IGFA world records. Now, Tourism and Transport Minister, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, says, quote, "This is an amazing accomplishment, and I am happy that there was a strong Caymanian contingent in Fort Lauderdale to support him." Adding to the congratulations, Dr. Guy Harvey, a world-renowned conservationist and wildlife marine artist, noted that Atlee is the first person in the Cayman Islands to join this prestigious group of honorees. And he's also the first person from the English-speaking Caribbean to do so. We say a huge congratulations to Captain Evans.
Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is on course for a political comeback. His bloc, which relies on a far-right coalition, looks set to take 65 of the 120 seats after Tuesday's election. Russia has agreed to resume its participation in the Black Sea grain export deal, days after it suspended cooperation. Ships had continued to sail from Ukraine despite Russia's warning that it could not guarantee their safety. Poland has confirmed it will build a razor-wire fence on its border with the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. It's concerned that Russia might encourage Middle Eastern migrants to cross illegally into Poland. There's been a sharp escalation in military tension between North and South Korea, with both sides firing missiles into the sea. The exchanges began with missile launches by Pyongyang into waters close to South Korea. One of them landed on the South Korean side of the maritime border. A ceremony has taken place to mark the deployment of Kenyan soldiers to a peacekeeping force in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. They'll help the Congolese army suppress a surge in violence by the M23 rebel group. Iranian state media says the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has described United States officials who support the ongoing protests there as shameless. He added that anyone who thinks the US is an untouchable power is wrong, insisting it's vulnerable. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has said he will attend the COP27 climate summit in Egypt next week, a reversal of his previous position. A court in the Netherlands has ruled that plans for a major carbon capture project in Rotterdam do not meet environmental standards. The idea is to capture carbon and store it under the North Sea. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Come on out to the Cayman Seafood Fest and Health Fair. Come enjoy your favorites like crab, turtle, conch, and shrimp with tasty side dishes. Get free blood pressure checks, flu shots, nutritional counseling, and much more. See you Saturday, November the 5th, 11 to 3 at the Farmers Market next to the cricket grounds. All proceeds to support the NCVO. Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Ahoy, ye mateys! You gonna get hooked! Get the event's treasure schedule at piratesfestcayman.com.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the very latest weather report. Current temperature is 80 degrees. Relative humidity is 91%. The barometric pressure is 29.98 inches and rising. The wind is out of the east at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 78 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate easterly winds and rough seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours as Hurricane Lisa moves near Belize City. Radar images show scattered showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the northwest. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Hurricane Lisa. At last check was located at 17.2 north, 86.7 west. It's about 60 miles north of Roatan, Honduras. Lisa is moving west at 15 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor the progress of the system. Also, Tropical Storm Martin poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. At the forecast for today, calling for cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should exercise caution over open water for today and tonight as well. And the forecast for tonight, cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures will dip to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet for tonight as well. Low tide will be this morning at 11:32, high tide this evening at 5:55. The sun will set this evening at 5:49 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:28. And the outlook is calling for a gradual decrease in cloudiness and showers through Thursday morning, with partly cloudy skies, moderate winds, and slight seas expected thereafter. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday, and we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Top of the morning to you. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. A lot of patience needed this morning. Delays expected if you're coming from the east. On Shamrock Road, coming off of Rex Crichton Boulevard, traffic is busy. Heavy traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway. Busy traffic heading to Georgetown on Crew Road. Eastbound traffic on Crew Road is moderate. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, traffic is busy. Busy traffic coming off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. And traffic also busy off of Estella Tibbetts Highway. And on North Sound Road, traffic is steady but flowing. Coming from the West Bay 4-way stop, expect moderate flow of traffic. As we look to Owen Roberts Drive, traffic is moving on pretty good. And Edward Street, traffic flowing at a good pace. Into Georgetown and Shedden Road looking pretty good. Out of Georgetown and Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue traffic is moderate in both directions. Some roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Christmas is coming.
What? The holidays is around the corner, and we know you've got a home project you've been trying to finish, but just don't have the time. Maybe it's a new paint job, rebuilding that patio, interior or exterior finishes. Take the stress away and call Triple R General Construction to get the job done the right way. Triple R General Construction Services includes build-to-suit, renovations, architectural assistance, subcontracting, and general construction for big or small, commercial and residential buildings. For quality, consistency, and projects done on time, call Scotty at Triple R General Construction at 929-1827. That's 929-1827. Or email at constructiontripler@gmail.com and get your home ready for the holidays.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Dr. Steve McPhail. So, Doc, we shared that press release, the statement made by the chair of the UK's Foreign Affairs Committee, and I have had this shared with me from Facebook, and it's from our MP and Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. Isaac Douglas Rankin, and this was a Facebook post yesterday, one day ago, and it reads, Day 1 of the CPA's National Security Conference is underway, and he writes, today's focus is understanding security by focusing on identifying global threats to national security and understanding the depth, the governance of, and understanding in depth the governance of national security. Goes on to write that earlier today, I once again had the pleasure of speaking with the Speaker of the UK House of Parliament, the Right Honourable Sir Lindsay Hoyle. I wish to thank Sir Lindsay as well as the CPA's Chief Executive, Mr. John Davies, for delivering remarks to the delegates. He goes on to say that I am looking forward to the remainder of what is in store for this National Security Council as well. And then there's a photograph of him with Sir Lindsay Hoyle, as well as a photograph with all of the delegates at the conference as well. And I believe Miss Susan has just shared something else with me, and I'll find that and share that with you as well. And that has to do with day 2 of the conference. And he has sent this and says, day 2 of the National Security Conference has been very informative. Today's focus has been the role of Parliament in influencing and overseeing national security. As part of the conference, delegates were also invited to Westminster Palace to observe Prime Minister's questions with British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Rishi Sunak. As delegates prepare for the closing of the conference tomorrow, it was truly a pleasure and an honour to represent the Cayman Islands alongside other British overseas territories, including Turks and Caicos and Gibraltar. So, again, we want to thank MP and Parliamentary Secretary Mr. Isaac Rankin for sharing that on Facebook with us, but without entities like Radio Cayman, who will then take that and convert that and transmit that to our general public.
Yes.
Those people of the Cayman Islands, including his constituents in the District of East End, if they are not attuned to Facebook or if they're not listening to Radio Cayman, then how do we know about this? It was, Doc, it was in normal times when someone was traveling abroad. You knew about it before they went.
That's right.
You may not have known as much while they were there because we didn't necessarily have, you know, all of the social media platforms and stuff that we have now. But certainly when they returned, you knew about it as well because it was carried in the press. Now, something may have been said about Mr. Rankin visiting, going to the UK and attending this conference.
Yes.
But, you know, not much had been highlighted. Now, were there security reasons why we didn't know? I'm just saying because, you know, we need to keep our people informed. We need to keep them up to date with what's happening.
I didn't know, and I usually searching the local media and international media every day. I didn't see any release about that, about any Caymanians be participating into this conference in the UK. The first time I heard about it was when I came on your show this morning, and you showed me the press release from Ms. Cairns about it. So I was in the dark also. I didn't know.
Okay.
And does that go down well? I don't think so. I think the more people are aware of all these things happening, and the more people are aware that people be traveling for conferences and these things are being held, it's the more secure people will feel and at home.
Yeah, and just basically keeping us up to date with what's happening as well. But no doubt he will give a report.
Maybe he would
when he returns.
Maybe he'll come on to your show and share.
And share the information
with you. I think that would be a great idea.
Okay. Now here's another one. I spoke about this on Monday about this story that spread like wildfire about the Kremlin putting the Cayman Islands on its list of unfriendly countries. Now, the Royal Gazette, which is one of Bermuda's newspapers, and online, they have run an article on this. This was this article, the person who wrote it, Gareth Finnegan, not sure which one. But here's what they have shared, because it sheds more light into, you know, what has occurred. He says, Bermuda's reputation for being one of the friendliest places on earth, has taken a knock from Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to the Russian news agency TASS, the country's government has added 11 more British overseas territories, including Bermuda, to its unfriendly countries list. The move comes because Britain imposed economic sanctions on Moscow after the invasion of Ukraine in February. The Kremlin has accused countries and territories on the list of taking, and quote, unfriendly actions, close of quote, against the Russian government. Originally, the list included only 3 British-controlled territories: Anguilla, British Virgin Islands, and Gibraltar. The 11 new additions are, and they go on to list them, British Antarctica, British Antarctic Territory, British Indian Ocean Territory, Cayman Islands, Falkland Islands, Montserrat, Pitcairn Islands, St. Helena, Ascension, and Tristan da Cunha Islands, South Georgia, and the South Sandwich Islands, Croatia, and the Kalia and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Says thus all 14 British overseas territories are now included in the unfriendly countries list, a Kremlin spokesman said. There are now more than, and this is what we didn't know about before because, not much more was said about it. There are now more than 60 countries and territories on the list, including the US, Canada, and all European Union nations. Countries added to the unfriendly countries list are subject to certain restrictions, and this is again information that we didn't know what this list, what it meant being on that list.
Yes.
Countries added to the unfriendly countries list are subject to certain restrictions relating to their relationships with Russia, including trade and currency restrictions and hiring limits in the listed countries' diplomatic missions in Russia. In March, Bermuda suspended certification of all Russian-operated aircraft registered here due to international sanctions over the war in Ukraine. The move was expected to affect more than 700 planes. Manufacturers stopped providing parts for Russian airlines as part of the sanctions. As a result, the Bermuda Civil Aviation Authority said it was unable to confidently approve the planes as airworthy. In retaliation, Russia removed the island as the Airworthiness Authority, resulting in a tug-of-war over aircraft supervision. So they have said more how it has affected Bermuda, especially with aircraft registry and what has been done there. Here in the Cayman Islands, we don't know.
We don't know
what the impact of it. It may be nil, yes. But should we sit by and say absolutely nothing about it? And then you see on social media people drawing conclusions from it, thinking that we have now awoken the big bad dog, and what are we going to do about it? Not realizing that being an overseas territory, part of the United Kingdom, that we are obligated to go along with these sanctions.
We have to follow what they send us from Whitehall and from the UK, and but I don't know what else we could expect, because when we take people's money and we bank it, we have it in our control, our possession, and then something happens with them and another third party. And then we are told, oh, we can't release their funds. We have to hold it away from them. What do you expect? You think that they're going to say, okay, thank you very much for keeping our money and keeping our funds. keeping our boats and plane and our yacht registration. Thank you very much for that, for not releasing that back to us. And they are going to sit back. They're not going to sit back and do that. And that's the problem that we have. And the thing that bothers me is that we hear so little about it. Mm-hmm. In other jurisdictions, they publish exactly what being on the unfriendly countries
what
is,
the impact of it is,
what the
or what it
impact
means.
is.
Yes, Yeah, I think these days.
So and then just let me say this.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
I really didn't know that Bermuda had so many of their airplanes and their stuff listed in Bermuda.
Oh yes.
That is a whole lot of business that Bermuda had from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the aircraft industry alone.
Yep.
And they haven't said here how many ships that we have listed that are Russian ships, or how many yachts that we have listed that are Russian ships. I haven't seen that published in the newspaper here.
Well, it's not normal for that to be done.
But
even though because the shipping registry is a government company.
Yeah.
So it could sometimes, most times when it is something that we're proud of. Then just a few weeks ago, I saw in a newspaper where it says Cayman registered yacht sees. Did you see that one? Yes.
Yes.
I recall
that's all I saw, and that came from another media, not from a local media.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take that commercial break, Miss Susan, folks. Mm-hmm. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Pirates fire, raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman, putting on some heat.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
J&M Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at J&M Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any J&M Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable. J&M Money. J&M Money. Touching down again. J&M Money. Ranga to la friend.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station. Your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Get your running shoes on, ruffle your tail feathers, and prepare to work off that extra helping of turkey dinner while giving back in a big way this Thanksgiving season. Registration is now open for the 7th annual Meals on Wheels 5K Turkey Trot Fundraising Run Walk. Walk, run, or waddle. Don't miss it. Saturday, November 26th, starting and ending at Grand Ole House, South Church Street. Registration is open to all ages. Join our sponsors, Grand Ole House, Western Resort, Kirk Market, Progressive Distributors, Cafe del Sol, and Radio Radio Cayman as they support Meals on Wheels in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Register today online at www.mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974 for more information. See you at the start line.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhail. Okay. We have a birthday greeting here that someone has asked me. I hope I don't mess up the name here. It says, happy belated 50th birthday to Belcia Aboni, hope I'm pronouncing that right, whose birthday was on Saturday, coming from her three children and cousins, friends, and family. Hope God will continue to bless her with long life, health, and strength. So, Belicia Aboni celebrated her 50th birthday on Saturday as well. So, Doc, I'm going to switch gears a minute here. And, one of our listeners has written this. Says, it seems as if Netanyahu winning. As I told you, incumbent governments around the world are in trouble. Left or right wing, look at the U.S. and the Dems are panicking and doing a lot of foolish things. Obama said Dems are worried about January 6th, while the people are worried about $6 a gallon gasoline. Worst campaign the Democrats ever run. Well, we have to wait and see what the results are from that yet. We have seen also that there have been some misleading and false polling numbers that have been coming out as well. In this day and age, you have so many fake things going out, fake polls. If you look, for instance, at a state like Georgia, and the canvassing that was done by, what's the lady's name now? Who's what the candidate for governor there? Yes. When you had the senators Warnock, when you had those runoffs there, and both and they won. The grassroots campaigning that was done, don't put anything past it, and I think that in some instances the Democrats are not saying exactly what it is that they're doing in terms of at the grassroots level as well. So all is not lost yet. But on Monday I talked about Lula in Brazil and the defeat of Bolsonaro. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted to say then, and I forgot, and I want to say now, is that we hope and we trust that Lula has now learned a lesson as well. The man spent 500 and odd days in jail for corruption from taking bribes from a construction company in Brazil. Now, eventually, I believe whether or not the conviction was eventually thrown out by one of the courts, which enabled him to be able to run again. But we hope and we trust that he has now learned his lesson.
Lula?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And say this to all politicians. I mean, this our listener here has spoken about Netanyahu. Netanyahu is still under criminal procedures in terms of corruption as well,
and can still run and can still win, still become prime minister of Israel, mm-hmm. and he's due in courts, I think, sometimes in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. So the word out there to elected officials, and we see just recently a former Minister of Education, Waldwin, in the British Virgin Islands,
yes,
arrested as well. Politicians, leaders, ministers, you have to be like Caesar's wife, beyond reproach, because there are eyes and there are ears. There are eyes watching and there are ears listening. And when you step out of line, someone is going to know about it. So if your intentions in terms of seeking elected office is to line your pockets, watch.
Forget it and forget it.
Yes,
forget it
out.
Because he will catch up with you in the end.
Yeah, so I hope Lula has learned his lesson now and will walk the straight and narrow path as well. Doc,
but it's amazing. It's amazing how in those countries, for instance, in Israel, Netanyahu can still run, even though he's on a charge. He's going through a trial.
Yes.
And can you imagine if that had happened in Cayman? What would happen? I mean, people have.
Well, in Cayman, we would run our mouth about it and accept it.
yes.
We would run our mouth about it and still accept it as well.
Yeah, as my grandfather said, we would talk about it for 9 days.
Yeah.
And after 9 days, we'd forget about it and accept it. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to share. One of our listeners has sent something to us, and they have pointed out they have been away from Cayman for about 3 weeks, and how much they missed being here and the show and everything. They said they were away in the UK for 3 weeks and loved returning to hearing what matters most to the good people of our country. And this one talks about, they've commented about slum landlords, and the person has written and said, "Good morning. I was horrified to read this article in a recent report in Cayman News Service. That is, horrified and embarrassed at the same time that this kind of reprehensible behavior is going on in Cayman." Goes on to say, there is no justification for the warehousing of our lower-earning guest workers. This has undertones of the worst of human trafficking and modern-day slavery. Clearly, there is the need for the government to forbid this awful practice, and if there are no health and safety regulations, etc., on the books, then these need to be created immediately. Slum landlords must never be allowed to exploit those who are in dire need of reasonable priced accommodation. It is evil. It is evil. To my mind, this is clearly a human rights violation and a complete disgrace and a strain on our society. Every premises that offers accommodation should be subject to a preliminary inspection by the health authorities, the fire department, and the housing authority to ensure that nobody in the Cayman Islands is allowed to live in cramped and unsanitary and unsafe conditions. What a miserable existence they must have to endure day in and day out. My heart goes out to them. The person says, from my previous work in local government in the UK, I recall that every premises in the city I lived in had a maximum number of residents, similar to the maximum number of occupants for a motor vehicle. This stipulation should be applied here also. This outrage perpetrated by greedy and exploitative slum landlords must be stopped in its tracks for humanity's sake, if for nothing else. And I want to thank the writer for that, and then I will share the article later on from that was posted on Cayman News Service, and it has to do with housing crisis leaves workers in costly, cramped conditions. And I'm sure, Doc, that you can opine on this to a certain extent as well. We do have two callers. We're going to grab one caller before the commercial break, and then we will take the other caller after the break. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, I'll say good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you all doing?
Fine, and yourself?
Yeah, you know, we, the people of the Cayman Islands, are going backwards in terms of getting news reports and so forth from our MPs that they're called now. Years ago, with interest in media reports or whatever, they used to come out and have town hall meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't even think they can spell town hall. I mean, yeah, we're growing, but we're growing in terms also of how many MPs we have. Because years ago we had less MPs, but we had more time to come out and tell the people what's going on.
That is so true, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, it's not surprising that these things are going on, because they try to treat us now like mushrooms, keep us in the dark and feed us manure. So, I'll leave you all with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that as well. Ms. Susan, let's take that commercial break. When we return, we will take the other caller that's on hold. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Come on out to the Cayman Seafood Fest and Health Fair. Come enjoy your favorites like crab, turtle, conch, and shrimp with tasty side dishes. Get free blood pressure checks, flu shots, nutritional counseling, and much more. See you Saturday, November the 5th, 11 to 3 at the Farmers Market next to the cricket grounds. All proceeds to support the NCVO. Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Pirates Fest.
Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest, Pirates Fest 2022. 3 chairs for 3 islands.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers in hold. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. O'Connor.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, and good morning to Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. Well, how do you all feel about the Cayman Islands going independent?
Not now, my friend.
Do you think that at this time, if we prepare ourselves, do you think the Caymanian people are able to move forward on our own as an independent country without corruption occurring or without the value of our dollar being destroyed?
Sir, one of the principles, significant principles of one of the foundations of independence is you have to have an educated populace, an electorate, an educated populace first and foremost, that can sustain a strong economic system on behalf of your country. That's one of the main things that you need to do. Just to say you're independent on paper, and then you have to run to the IMF or you have to run to the World Bank to borrow money to sustain to keep your currency floating up, and then next thing you know, your currency is gone. We don't produce anything of any worth. We are mostly a service industry. We provide service to other people from other places. Everything we do is service. Service the cruise ships. Service the the guests at the hotels. Service the people who put their money in the bank. Service all of those things. We don't manufacture anything. We don't have any balance of payment. We don't sell anything. We don't everything that we get is imported. Even ice cream, we don't even make that ourselves. We don't even have an ice cream factory that makes ice cream itself. So we have to look at all of those things. One of the main things is having a sustainable economic system that can keep your independence going, because it doesn't make sense to be independent on paper, but be dependent on other people and to be worse off than you are. And one of the main things is to have a sound educational training system. Right now, we have so many people here in our country. We would have to be depending on more of them to come to help us. Something like 28,000, 30,000 employees or people working on work permits. We need to reduce that number to have all our people in those jobs, in those high-paying jobs, that they can send their children to prep school, and that they can send their children to private schools, and that they can become the professionals that we are going to need in an independent state, and so forth.
Caller?
Dr. Steve?
Yes.
What is the most important thing to you that we continue to be under the British government?
Listen to me. I'm free. I'm free mentally. I already got my mental freedom. The fact that I am ruled by a Westminster constitution and system doesn't bother me at this particular stage in my life, and it shouldn't bother you right now. What you need is to have all your people educated first, and to have them to be able to sustain an independent state, because an independent state is expensive. It's expensive.
Dr. Steve.
Go right ahead, caller. Go right ahead.
Let me warn you all. Let me warn you all about Britain. Okay? Britain, if it comes to being an overseas territory, because we don't have an army, and we're depending on Britain to take care of us, that is not going to happen. That will not happen. You all are educated gentlemen.
And I'm pretty sure you all are God-fearing gentlemen also, especially being growing up in Cayman. I hope so. But the Bible speaks of World War III. And England and America will be totally destroyed. So they will not be able to help us. So continuing to be under England, as you just heard Putin send out a message the other day, right, on friendly countries, right? Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. Good morning, Dr. Steve.
Good
morning. Morning. How are you, my friend?
Good, thanks. I really called to say something about the legal practitioners bill and how it affects the public, but let me just touch on two issues that you've touched in. The corruption issue.
Mm-hmm.
The corruption issue, I know that is very complicated because at the end of the day, it is really a phenomenon of economics. You know what they say in economics, that once you've got a coincidence of needs and wants, there will be trade. And corruption really at the end of the day is part of that theory.
Mm.
You get a job in government, there are very few people in government who earn so much money that they can be discouraged from getting bribes at a large level. But at the end of the day, I think it's just a question of finally we have to keep fighting it. It is also very difficult when people vote for people who've been convicted of corruption because it's democracy. You've just mentioned about Netanyahu and Lula. But that's just a comment in passing. It's an expression of frustration, if you like, that even people who have been found to be corrupt can eventually be elected.
Mm-hmm.
About the independence bit, I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree with you, Dr. Steve, about that. I think all the things that you've said is that ideally you go to independence with an educated populace, with an economy which can sustain itself. Because in these matters, if some sanctions are imposed on you, you should be able, say, at least to survive reasonably and so forth. But my only
if I could interrupt you there, Billy, if you were an independent country, those sanctions may not be imposed on you because we would have a choice then as to whether or not we want to adopt those sanctions.
Well, that's the other thing, because then you can decide. You don't have to be told, we want you to hate that one. Maybe you don't actually hate that other person. So it's very, very difficult. But at the end of the day, for me, I think at the moment, I doubt that if we went to a referendum, that the majority of the people in Cayman would want independence. And I believe that with the number of status grants and so on, which are being granted, I think that is even less likely. I believe that in about 10 years' time, as Caymanians, you have lost so much turf that the people who would have come from the UK, Canada, Jamaica, Trinidad, they don't want independence. In Cayman, they have independence where they come from.
And they have left that because
yeah, that's right. And they have left that and
they've left that because Cayman is better. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very quickly on the legal practitioners bill.
Mm-hmm.
The legal practitioners bill. Well, first of all, the drafters in the legislative drafting department have messed it all up because they didn't need to bring these provisions in force. The ones for appointing people to the board and the ones for making regulations. They didn't need to bring those into force for them to make the appointments. It's a technical legal issue. I can't get too much on radio, but I just wanted to flag it. Once a bill is assented to and published in the Gazette, you can do everything that's necessary to bring it into force, like making appointments and making regulations. You don't have to bring those provisions in force. It's in Section 26 and 31 of the Interpretation Law. But about, let me make just 2 points, please, about the legal practitioners bill. I had much more, but just 2 points. One, it is a violation of every principle of licensing to say that you are going to license people without a prerequisite for licensing. The only prerequisite for licensing under this law, the legal practitioners bill, the legal services bill, is that you should be associated with a company in the Cayman Islands. If you are associated with a company, they can license you. In other words, you don't even need to know anything about Cayman law, legal procedure as such, so long as you are connected to that. It's fundamentally wrong. But the other one which affects the public, which is the second and last point, is that you see, the council and the disciplinary bodies, those are the ones which will really affect the people. In the disciplinary tribunal, they don't have a single non-lawyer. They are all lawyers. In the council, they are all lawyers. Try to go before that body. A lawyer has stolen your money, and you try to say, can you punish him? When everybody there is a lawyer. It's never going to happen. And in other countries, they have actually introduced a system where members of the public can also be there. In Ontario, the Judicial Council in Ontario has got 12 people. And out of those people, 4 of them are just members of the public. And this is a body which disciplines judges. They have said you have to have members of the public there. There are other issues I'll call another time. For example, under the appeals, a lawyer can appeal without leave if they are convicted by the tribunal. But you, who is the complainer, you need to seek leave to appeal. That's totally wrong. But let me leave it there.
Okay, before I go, Billy, because we're going to go to our headline news after this. So, based on the legal practitioners bill, the draft of it, would you say then that the proponents of the idea or the that overseas lawyers can practice Cayman Islands law overseas, that they have prevailed?
Well, it seems to me they have prevailed because that's the way the bill stands at the moment. However, it's good you asked that, OC, because Premier Panton did say that there may be some amendments that need to be looked at before it is brought into force. So in other words, they are getting into this administration aspect and appointing people, but like before the actual substantive provisions come into force, he says that there may be room for amendment. I think actually they should have a proper committee of cabinet to look into this, because there's a lot which needs to be discussed. Members of the public are not going to like this because they have been suffering under Chief Justice Smelly, because Chief Justice Smelly was never dealing with complaints against lawyers, and now they give it to this new body. This new body also is just good. Every single person is a lawyer. It's never going to work. Even in England, they've moved away from that.
Okay. Billy, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Folks, top of the hour headline news. When we return, we still have 2 more callers on hold. Three callers on hold as well. We just line them up, Miss Susan. We're going to take all of them. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Waterworks are underway this morning in Cayman Kai. The Water Authority is doing leak detection work through tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. daily as part of, quote, ongoing infrastructure work in the area. North and South Korea have fired a number of missiles into waters near each other's coasts in a marked escalation of hostilities. The North launched its most missiles in a day, at least 23, including one that landed less than 37 miles off the south city of Sokcho. Seoul responded with warplanes firing 3 air-to-ground missiles over the disputed maritime demarcation line. Later, Pyongyang fired 6 more missiles and a barrage of 100 artillery shells. And his record company says Migos rapper Takeoff was killed by a, quote, stray bullet. The 28-year-old Grammy-nominated musician died in a shooting at a bowling alley in Houston. Paying tribute, his record label said in a statement, quote, senseless violence and a stray bullet has taken another life from this world, and we are devastated. Houston Police Chief Troy Finner said he did not want to speculate on whether Takeoff was the target. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. We have several callers queued up, so just want to say to each one, bear in mind that there's someone waiting behind you as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Sue.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I just call in because just two little issues. But the first one is about 3 weeks ago, there was an article in the papers about a Coast Guard chasing in a boat that had, it was like a drug boat, I guess, and they managed to get into East End Shore.
Mm-hmm.
The three occupants disappeared into the woods, and by when the boat was searched, the boat had guns and bullets and stuff. It wouldn't take much to surmise that the escapees also could have had some weapons on them.
Yeah, you could make that assumption, yes.
Shortly thereafter, there's been some robberies with a group of people at all times, and of course, you know, if you strategize, you can also say that they're planning it out. They can send one person out sometimes, and then other times the group.
Yeah.
But not a single word that I've heard, either, number one, whether that story was fake, or number two, if it wasn't fake, give an update to the public.
Well, I think the police didn't the authorities issue that statement in that regard themselves about the incident. I think
only a statement about the incident.
Yes,
right. So I'm saying that because to me it's a national security issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some updates should be given to the public, not any strategic information perhaps, but general information like they're being, you know, we know they're here. They're being pursued. We you know, I mean, it's some update. I mean, something which is of some importance to the general public.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you for a second because I said to one of my colleagues here this morning that I would say that before the end of the week or by the end of the week, you're likely to see an arrest. Don't underestimate the intelligence that is out there as far as our security services are concerned. And because we don't hear from them does not mean that they're not doing something. And I believe in this particular instance, the less we hear at this point in time, the better, unless it is a situation where public safety is at risk and we need to be alerted to that.
Well, Mr. Ebanks,
yes.
Two things bother me about that case. Number one, how were they able to get, once they were spotted, how were they able to get into the reef, into the shore in the first place?
Exactly.
When we have a Coast Guard. And number two, how do we know that they were not locals? Because nobody knows who they were. They could have been local people who escaped.
Exactly.
And number three, how come the police helicopter with all the equipment that we paid for them and bought for them couldn't find them?
Well, and I could also add, why isn't the East End Police Station manned at all times with sufficient resources that there could be some communication from the boat in the water and the people on shore to say, you know, fan out along the beach?
And how were they not hunted all night? Why was after they ran into the bush, why was the chase stop?
Right. I don't know. It's just a mystery. As a private citizen, I am not satisfied with it. But I bow to the ruling.
Okay. You say you had another point, so we want to get to that one quickly.
I'll call back on that, OC, because it's an issue which I think the government needs to have an actual ministry now that is focusing on just basic local issues, and they have to have a minister that just is going to be zoning in on that. We have a traffic problem here, and nobody is seemingly dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an issue with land prices that is pricing every Caymanian out of the market because of stuff that's going on with speculative buying. And some little basic controls need to be put into place to safeguard the well-being of future Caymanians.
And we need the advisory district councils to be activated.
Councils, that's what we need to.
Yes. Okay, caller, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let's grab the next caller, Ms. Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you now?
Good morning to the Honorable Dr. McField.
Good morning, sir, Lord Graham.
Yeah. I just wanted to put in a little plug for those that
don't know, or too young to know the dialogue that you had going with the gentleman before Billy called in, and you make mention of not being able to produce anything. I just want to remind the populace, or even you can do it, you would know more about us at one particular time being a producer. We produce quite a few things, not just one thing, not just produce, but we also exported a few things to the outside world.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have become a very large consumer, and most of the time find it difficult to understand. And as you know, when the producer named the tune, the consumer have got to dance.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you can probably elaborate a little bit to the public, making them know that at one particular time we used to produce too, but now we don't do that no more. Produce nothing, like you say, nothing.
Well,
so I just wanted to put that little plug in there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Thank you
for that. Yes.
Graham. Okay, Ms. Susan, next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator. Morning, Dr. McPhail.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you? We're getting an echo from your call.
Yes.
Try now, sir. Hello?
Better now?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Much better, much better.
The first has to do with security of our borders.
Yes.
And maritime. I have been saying it is time for us now. The helicopter business is good, and I'm not advocating that we get rid of it. But modern trends now are with drones.
Mm-hmm.
One drone costs $20,000, a good drone. So you can imagine how many drones we could get for the cost of a helicopter. And that drone is modern technology, it's efficient. The drones are much more versatile by virtue of the fact that they can stay in the air longer, they're less visible, and they have a greater range. And so it is time for us to consider that if we want to improve the effectiveness of procuring our borders. The second thing I want to say is a point, I want to piggyback on a point Dr. McPhail made and other people. We are a service-based economy. And as a result of that, we import everything. Now when you import, you suffer from what economists call leakage. Because let us take, for example, tourism. I would guarantee that if 20 cents on every dollar earned is kept in the Cayman Islands, that is plenty. So we import all of the foodstuffs from the United States. The establishments are owned by non-Caymanians, and the staffing them, for the most part, are non-Caymanians. So you see right away how much we are losing. And I am saying, gentlemen, that our economic model is unsustainable. We cannot continue to depend upon import duties to raise funds. Because when we do that, the poor pay the same amount of taxes as the wealthy. And so we're not making any headway. So it is time for us to examine our economic model and see what we can do. Graham is right. Once upon a time, Cayman were known for exporting. We exported cattle. We exported other things.
That's right.
We exported other things. Now, there is a resurgence in agriculture. There is people interested. Regrettably, there is no land available at affordable prices. So it is doubtful if we're going to make any progress in that regard. And the final point I wish to make is we have to come to some finite number as to the number of people we can comfortably absorb.
Exactly.
In the islands.
Yep.
We have to come to that. And no offense to anyone, we have to look out for our own people first.
Exactly, Mr. Borden.
And caller, we have to decide whether or not we want to have a population growth by natural occurrence as opposed to importing that growth.
Which, Mr. Moderator, I hasten to add, is the best way to increase population.
Yes.
By natural growth. Because then we have a chance of what sociologists and anthropologists call acculturating the people. Our problem now is that we have people coming in who are not acculturated to the Caymanian way of life. And they don't know our mores and our values, and they're not prepared, and so we're losing out. The final point I wish to make has to do with independence or no independence. Quite frankly, this whole business of independence for small territories, I don't know how valuable that is, because a lot of these places are what we call flag independence. They have their own flag and all that, but not much more. I think the way to go is for us to develop a credible economic system, because we know money makes the world go round.
Exactly.
So that is what we have to determine. Gentlemen, I bid you good day, and I shall listen as I usually do for the rest of your show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Susan, any other callers on hold? Still two more. Do we want to take the commercial break, and then let's grab one caller before the commercial break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Rosie. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. How are you?
And Dr. Mark.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, sir. A quick question. I don't know, because things have changed since I retired from the force, but about the border situation. So, most of the boats and stuff, they come in to East End. And I'm wondering if the police boat patrols there daily or only certain times. And where is the cadets? Where are they? Would they be involved, or couldn't they be involved, like in East End and North Side police stations, that when they're trained, they're supposed to be trained, for the Highland and stuff, that they could be involved in that. I'm just wondering, I don't know how the station of Eastern and North, police stations of Eastern and North Side are.
Sir, being at the police station is too late.
Yeah.
You need to intercept people before they get into our waters. Yeah. We need when you look at what the American Coast Guards and those people are doing, they turn them back. I just saw in a paper a couple of days ago where I think the British Coast Guard intercepted something like millions of dollars worth of cocaine on the high seas, so forth, moving back and forth. We need the kind of vessels that can stay out there for 2 and 3 months on the seas, protecting our borders, keeping people away from our borders that they cannot get to our borders. We need to caulk up our borders so tight that if a toilet flush within the 3 miles limit, we know when it flushed and who flushed it. That's what we need to do.
And we need
this Mickey Mouse thing with little boats that are made for the rivers and for the lakes is not enough.
That caller, there's a combination of things. You heard one caller talk about the use of drones.
Yes.
We should not discount intelligence-led operations in all of this. That means having sources out there on the ground, not only here in the Cayman Islands, but in those jurisdictions where the drugs are coming from as well. We also need the cooperation of the authorities from those jurisdictions as well. So it is a multifaceted approach that has to be taken as far as drug interdiction is concerned, as far as crime in general is concerned as well.
Yeah, so that's what I was wondering, because Dr. Murphy say, yeah, we need. What are we going to do? Can't we get 2 drones?
Well, you could ask the people who are responsible for our national security.
And if they're being used, we don't expect them to tell us at this point in time that they're being used, because if they tell us, they're telling everybody else as well, folks. So at this point in time, my advice is, let us place our confidence in the persons who are charged with securing our borders, and let's not second guess them at this point in time. We need to hold them accountable, but let's not, convict them at this point in time. Bad word to use, but let's not judge them at this point in time. Let's see what happens. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. Folks, we have to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Little Cayman, the 2022 Pirates Fest season starts with you. November 4th through the 6th with the official kickoff at McCoy's Sunset Bar, Friday the 4th, followed by the float parade, 3 p.m. on the 5th, starting from Southern Cross, costume competition, fireworks show, and don't forget about the Pirates Party at the Hungry Iguana. You know them pirates like a little party, Little Cayman style. Little Cayman Pirates Fest, November 4th through the 6th.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Everything's sounding muffled. We still have a caller on hold, but before we take that caller, Miss Susan, I want to share something that we have from our WhatsApp as well. I'm here. Okay, sounding a little bit better now. Okay, so this person has written in and said, as you were reading the unfriendly list, my diplomatic background / skepticism stuck in its head out again. The increased arrivals of Cuban citizens on our shores versus Cuba's internal issues, which validates the arrivals, versus Cuba's very strong Russian connections, infiltrators into the islands, etc. How do the authorities screen both people and their quote-unquote connections? That was a question that the person had. And then it's going to say also, can anyone please pressure the governor's office to take strong action regarding all the crime on the islands. Heard the cries of even the Brackers yesterday, that would have been on Monday. The governor, in his way out, is in his way out, so it may not be at the top of the to-do list. I do realize the police do great work behind the scenes on special cases, but these are everyday issues that are out of control and influencing neighborhoods as well. So some good points there, as well. Let's grab the call. Next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Hope all is well. I want to sentiment what Lord Graham said to an extent. We need to we need to remind the public that we had exports before we came on, and still going forward came on went backward. It went forward for the outsiders, but it went backwards for Caymanians because we didn't get no progress for us because everything we Caymanians got left behind with everything. And so we did have export. I mean, what I see, they're tearing down all our palm trees and our thatch trees and everything that was part of our export. And Cayman thatch trees are the strongest thatches to make local crafts and everything. As I've heard plenty of people say, the one that are coming from Jamaica especially is very dry rotten. So we're destroying our heritage to take in somebody else's. And we need to remember that we were one time. We look like we're going to be the time forgotten as we was before, going backwards at everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Any more callers, Miss Susan? 3 more. They're coming hot and heavy today, yes, Dr. Steve, but we will accommodate them as much as we can. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. You're breaking up, caller. Let's try the next caller, Miss Susan. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, OC, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, morning to you and the doc.
Good morning.
All right. I just call in here again from the back regarding the situation up here with the old police station with these vehicles. What grieves me and gets me so much, OC, is I know I have people here that are close to me that tells me day after day the way that the EH hounds them and press down on them for the least thing that they hold in their properties because of the harboring of pests and different stuff due to these old vehicles or whatever they're keeping in the yards. But for a business as such as what the bakery and now the Thompson shipping office and the pet office that is there, it is so bad to know that they just had a function some days ago, and I've never seen more kids in my life in a while since COVID. It had to be at least 80 or 90 people there at that event. And to know that the people had to go there and park next to these vehicles.
How many vehicles are there?
There's about 3 vehicles that was due to involving death.
Okay.
Are totally destroyed, and it looks horrendous. They don't have no covering over the vehicles. They're just sitting there next to that man's business, and to know that the public...
But don't forget the power of that little camera that's on your phone and the power of social media as well. Put it, photograph and put it out there.
What I need to get myself used to doing, and I keep forgetting it every time. I complain about it, but I keep forgetting to take photos and send, and I hope I can get it half across the world.
Yeah, that may be a solution.
Yeah.
And what about investing some money in you got a tow truck in there?
I tell you the honest truth, Doc, a tow truck would be a easy solution to do what I see around here that needs to be done.
Just tow them away to the dump.
But you can't get in the dump.
But tow them.
You can't get in the dump because they keep it locked. That's another thing. The people don't have nowhere to go take their stuff in a way, and government don't care about what they keep, or these departments, I should say, in making it look like it's somebody else's responsibility. It is sad. It is sad because we need this little island to be clean. We don't need to pile of old junk cars all around the side of the roads and in these government establishments and around other people's establishments where they're trying to make their life and their livelihood and these kind of things. No government official can come and press down on what should be done. But if I go and park some little junk car in my yard, they won't come and harass me.
Yeah, take the pictures and send it to DEH and send it to the commissioner of police. Send it to everyone, district administrator.
I gotta be the next road.
We need a bluff road. We need a bluff road in the Cayman Islands. So we call it the bluff road up there. Thank you very much, caller.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. No calls. Okay. Doc, let's take a commercial break, Miss Susan, and then I'm going to share an article from the Nor'Wester magazine, and this was the 11th year, September of 1982, and there's an article, Justice for All, with a question mark, and there's some photographs in here of some notable attorneys in the Cayman Islands. So please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
I'm bossy with J and money. When I trip it easy, trust me. Yeah. Come on, just send some money. I instant entry. Look how you're lucky. Bossy, J and money, bossy. J and money, send you go a yard. Teen, bossy. Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy. We're well proudie.
Celebrate Jamaica 60 with J and money for a chance to win a dream vacation for two to Jamaica, including airfare, resort stay, and more. Send money for a chance to win. Your loved ones will also be entered for a chance to win a brand new car. Competition runs from now until December 24th. J and money 60 and bossy enough.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at J and Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Bossy, Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy.
No J and bank account required.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Come on out to the Cayman Seafood Fest and Health Fair. Come enjoy your favorites like crab, turtle, conch, and shrimp with tasty side dishes. Get free blood pressure checks, flu shots, nutritional counseling, and much more. See you Saturday, November the 5th, 11 to 3 at the Farmers Market next to the cricket grounds. All proceeds to support the NCVO. Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. So I'm going to share part of an article in the Nor'Wester newspaper published the September of 1982. The cost of the magazine then was $2. the article, Justice for All, ? And it was written by none other than Mr. Charles Glidden of Radio Cayman fame as well, and, others, press secretary for the premier of the Cayman Islands at one point in time as well. So he talks about the law court building and it's standing stately in the center of Georgetown. And inside it is housed an institution that touches the lives of a great many Caymanians. The two main chambers of the building are occupied by the Magistrates Court and the Grand Court. Of the two magistrates' courts is where the action is at. All manner of people and situations pass through this door, the lower courts being where all matters are first brought. Then talks about the magistrate courts and how it falls into magistrate court is full of real life drama and at times downright entertainment, bursts of laughter. Talks about what goes on there, and then the article goes on to talk about a situation. This one is a little bit spicy. Says here, Magistrates Court has been a matter of much attention in recent months because of the dismissal of Richard Edwards as acting magistrate and clerk of courts. So this part now, folks, if you think that we just recently had some drama in the Cayman Islands, we had it then, but it was dealt with swiftly. Here's what happened. It says the announcement of his termination, that is the acting magistrate, Mr. Richard Edwards, the announcement of his termination was made without any explanation. Goes on to say, according to top government sources, his termination came about after an incident at the Sunset House Bar, during which Mr. Edwards became overly friendly with a female patron, much to the displeasure of the woman's husband, who was present at the time. The incident reportedly ended with a violent confrontation. Charges against Mr. Edwards were being considered, but the Attorney General's office thought there was insufficient evidence. That's a good terminology, a convenient one, Doc. Mm-hmm. It says, according to the government source, it would have been possible for Mr. Edwards to have claimed that he had slipped, and in trying to steady himself, his hand came into contact with the lady's legs. When is it that the prosecution finds excuses for for the person who's being charged?
Sure, he was one of them. He was part of the problem. He was one of them.
Says the incident when coupled with a previous fracas was apparently serious enough that it was thought inappropriate for Mr. Edwards to serve as clerk of courts and thus acting magistrate when needed. Goes on to say that according to these same sources, Mr. Edwards had some problems of a similar nature while serving in another territory. When all was taken into account, the decision was to terminate Mr. Edwards' contract, which provided for termination by either party with 3 months' notice or 1 month's salary. In a letter to the press, Mr. Edwards admits that there was an incident at Sunset House. Let me at once say it was regrettable. And of course, the article has in it a photograph of the late attorney, Mr. Neville Levy, our own Dr. Steve McField, who is still with us, and our own Mr. David Rich as well. So I'm unable to share the whole article because it is long, but it goes to show you that in those days, action was swift and effective. But at the same time, we see where they drew the wagons around him, and the Attorney General's office is going to find a reason why he could use as his defense, as opposed to them deciding whether or not they had a case that they could successfully prosecute.
But, you know, I prosecuted him one time with a private prosecution.
Okay.
When I was when I first came back, you know, there was no right to bail. Bail was the discretion of the magistrate, and I was fighting for a right to bail, and I was fighting actually for a bail law, which would preserve the presumption of innocence. And I was making my submissions for bail, and he was presiding that day, and he turned his back on me in court. He turned his chair and turned his back on me and started facing a wall of the court.
Really?
Yes, turned his back on me, and I was talking to his back. And he turned around and says to me, "Mr. McField, have you finished?" And I said, "No, sir, I haven't finished. I have 2 more submissions to make." He said, "I do not want to hear them. I want you to sit down. Shut up and sit down." I says, "I'm not sitting down until you hear my submissions." And he says, "I am not hearing them today." And he says, "I'm going to tell you one more time. Shut up and sit down." And I say, "Sir, I'm not sitting down and I'm not shutting up until you hear my submissions." And he says, "I'm holding you in contempt of my court, and I'm fining you $300, and you won't be able to come back to magistrate's court until you purge your contempt. That means to pay the money." I said, "I'm not doing that." So about a week went by, or 2, and then the policeman came to see me and said, "You know, Steve, he had an altercation up at the what they call it
Sunset House.
No, where the judges live.
Oh, you used to call it
English Town.
English Town,
English
yes,
Town.
yes. What's it? Some Point.
Portuguese Point.
Portuguese Point, yeah.
And he broke into somebody's house there.
Who?
Mr. Edwards, and broke into somebody's house. And when the police came, the police tried to arrest him. He jumped in his car and took off, and he hit a light pole. He was drunk. And police gave me the instructions. And what I did is that and the police said to me, we took him to the police station, and the commissioner of police came and says, this was Sowers at the time, says, I'll deal with it, and said they have not done anything with it. And I says, okay. So I went to the Criminal Procedure Code, Section 13, which says you can have a private prosecution if you make out the information and have a justice of the peace sign it and have the justice of the peace sign the charges. I fill out the charges: destruction of government property because the houses belong to the government, driving while intoxicated, and causing an accident. And I got Mr. Craddock to sign it, and I filed it in court. And he couldn't go to court. And all hell broke loose then. And Sir John McField was the Chief Justice, and they tried to get me to drop the charges. And they went to now. When you bring a private prosecution, the only person who can take that prosecution away is the Attorney General, and Barwick was the Attorney General,
okay,
Mr.
David Barwick. Yeah.
And he says, I don't want to get in between Steve McField and that gentleman, and he refused to do it. And so they got Mr. Alberga to come in between the Chief Justice, and they keep coming to me. I says, no, I'm not going to drop the prosecution. I'm not going to drop the prosecution. And finally he came to my office, the judge.
Edwards?
Yeah. Mr. Alberga broke out the deal. And he came to my office, and I said, if he wants, he said he's gonna apologize to you if you will drop the prosecution. I say he has to come to my office to do so. I was in Jack and Jill's building, and he came to my office and he apologized. And then I waited for 3 days after that, and I went down to the court's office and I withdrew the charges against him. And then from that he didn't do that. From then he didn't want to hear me cases that I was involved in court. And that was one of the things that we were talking about there in that magazine, that they wanted to then have lawyers sit as magistrates, and we say that was wrong to have someone from the bench, from the offices, lawyers' offices, sit in the bench also. And they say, oh, that happened in other places, but we say we don't want that to happen in Cayman. But that still continues. That continued until when now we have magistrates now who are being hired on the stuff. But that same Edwards, I prosecuted him on a private prosecution. That's what I did.
Yeah. It goes to show you the background checks that were made then on people, because if he had these problems in another jurisdiction, that's like the guy that he had big up in finance when the late Tom Jefferson was financial secretary, and he used to write all the speeches, found out that he, at the end of the day, the degree that he supposedly had was in theology,
exactly,
and nothing to do with finance.
Financial politics. Yes,
we've had some really crimes perpetrated against us here in the Cayman Islands. Let's grab. We have 3 callers. We're going to make those the final 3 calls. We're going to take 1 caller, go to the commercial break, and take the other 2 callers when we return. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Mr. O.C., how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Not bad. Good morning to the panel.
Good morning, sir. Ma'am.
Yes, sir. I just want to say something about the road system. Someone called this morning and was talking about the road, which is it's really, really terrible coming from the east. Traffic is backed up. And I've been looking at this situation for a while. And I just want to say something that I see that could work.
Okay.
I don't know if the engineer for the road would accept this, but this is a good idea. What I see they could have done, coming from Ose gas station, going to Countryside, that old road, for Q Road, they could just use that road as one road for everybody going up. Going up, they go to Dr. Thomas roundabout. Everybody make a left turn there and go to Countryside, and they come out at Countryside until the new road that they intend to build.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So make that a one way.
A one way going south.
Make it a one way.
Going west.
One way going to Countryside.
Going towards Countryside.
Yes.
Going
Okay.
east.
Yeah. And when the people is coming from east, is one way, come straight from east, straight into Georgetown, and then you bypass Bobby Thomas way.
But what happens? What happens then if I let's say if I live? Well, you do have the crossroads. I was thinking in terms of.
You have the exit. The exit will still be there.
Yeah.
And if all those people who is living at Newlands bypass, they can turn right, not left. They turn right.
Okay.
They make a right turn.
That's food for.
They can exit, and they can go up to the exit to go on the other road.
Food for thought.
Good
food
idea.
for thought. We may have to add the additional lanes onto the east-west arterial for that to be really effective. Because remember, in most instances, going to the east on the east-west arterial, you have only one lane. But yeah, food for thought. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
And it would be also good for the police. Anyone who is doing any wrong, they can easily stop the car because they don't have anywhere to go. They
Right.
have to travel on that road.
Got you. Okay.
Is that me?
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. You have a great day. Please stay safe as
I
well.
hope they look into that.
Okay. Folks, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, we have 2 callers in hold. We will accommodate those callers, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full
full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Fire, raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now, reach wow. You say you need some money, JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use a money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhee. We're on the last leg of the show this morning. Before I take the caller, one of our listeners wrote in and said that they agree we need to change our immigration laws with regard to PR, permanent residence and status, and work permits. With regard to permanent residence and status, we need to ensure that not every work permit holder at the end of the rollover period gets or is able to apply for PR or status. There should be a limit per year and maybe assign a number of different nationalities and job sectors. Also, with regard to work permits, when someone cancels a permit, then the individual should have to leave the island, and also they should not be allowed to switch to various or different job sectors as well. And the person then says they also agree with natural growth. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm blessed. Blessings to you, to Mr. O.C. and Dr. Mikefield. Always interesting to hear Dr. Mikefield talk.
Oh, yes.
Yes, just an inspiration, where there's a will, there's a way. He's a good example of that. When you're right, you stand for it, and everything will prevail. But that suggestion that lady called in earlier, about the high occupancy vehicles, right? In Houston, they have a designated lane that if you have a passenger with you, you can drive in that lane, and usually it's a lot more free-flowing lane. And you can do the same thing here. If you are carpooling, you get preference on a faster lane separated just for you. And that would help a lot too. And you can switch it around in the morning. They know the rush hour directions and so on like that. And it's an easy fix to our problem that we got right now. And we should not be building more roads. We should get more economical means of transporting people. We are Disneyland anyway. Get us a monorail that will go down the same roads that we got now, so we don't destroy any more of our land that we need for food. And, you know, we got to learn efficient ways of farming. But that is a good suggestion that lady has. I'm sure she's seen that in other jurisdictions working good too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
y'all have a good, blessed day, man.
Right, okay.
Okay.
We have one
Bye-bye.
other call that has come in, and we're going to take that caller. But just to say, the Cayman Islands, what are we, 22 miles long at its longest point, 7 miles wide at its widest point. Who has to go where that we really need to have express lanes in this country? Who's in such a hurry that we should have express lanes that says that you have priority over the other drivers on the road because you can go fast? I can understand the incentive if you have more than one occupant in the car, you know, the high volume, and it's to encourage that. But it's a hell of a price to pay, you know, to do that, you know, to add those extra lanes for that purpose as well. Let's take the last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. You seeped in there, but we're happy to accommodate you. Go right ahead. Caller? I said all those good things about the person.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Sorry. Good morning to you, Miss Dorsey and Dr. Matthew.
Good morning, ma'am.
This is Carrie from the back.
Yes.
I just wanted to add 2 cents to what you're all discussing, and not fully in relation to immigration, because I got about a million reasons why that law needs to be amended. And for one thing I want to say about that immigration law, they need to remove the bias and the prejudice against the Jamaican nationals when it comes to PR by not giving them points for their nationality. That is the most prejudiced thing I have ever heard of. Anyway.
But do other nationalities get points for their nationality?
Yes, sir, they do.
Well,
the points away from the Jamaicans.
Okay.
Well, they don't get points. They get a priority, a preference priority. But let me tell you, ma'am, the Immigration Transition Law 2021 is going through revision at this time. I think you'll probably see reviews will come to the Parliament in December, as the minister has promised. There's a committee called the Points Review Committee. I'm chairing that committee too, and we're looking at the point system to see whether we want to keep it or whether we want to amend it or whether we want to continue it. It depends on what the committee findings at the end of the day. We are supposed to give a report to the government around in January about our findings on that. So things are in the pipeline and in the works, and I think that you'll see a review of the Immigration Transition Law 2021 come around in the next sitting of Parliament.
Okay.
Well, I totally agree with that, with the point system. That needs a full revamping, simply because it's very racist and biased when it comes to Caymanians, in that against Caymanians, I should say, with points for having property, because we all know that the bank's foreclosure knew deliberately so that PR applications can get processed with purchasing your homes out of foreclosure for points. And that should, what the PR board should say, okay, confirm to us when you purchase this property if that was a true foreclosure or not. And the bank should provide that a letter to the board stating that when they got this mortgage, it was not true foreclosure. It was purchased, free and clear. Someone decided they wanted to sell. It was not something in that kind of situation. And if it is, then the board should not give you any points for that property, because you should not be gaining any points to become a citizen, or for the blood and sweat of a Caymanian or anyone else who lost their home to PR point applicants. That is one thing I think needs to be revamped completely, that PR for owning property and how you acquired it. Anyway,
but one of the points
that today.
Okay.
But
one of the points about
let her finish talking, and we can hear her out after. Go right ahead, very quickly, because we're running out of time.
Sure. The only other thing I wanted to say is I think that our government agencies and our government departments need to go through a full assessment, including the security agencies like the police and customs and everything, to ensure that they have adequate staffing and resources in place to do the job. Because from the outside, from what I am seeing, is that we have departments in our government that are overwhelmed, overworked, under-resourced, and that could be an issue why we're having so many different things go on within our government. And I think a full evaluation of our entire government should be done from top to bottom to ensure that there's no department lacking of 10 staff or 5 staff.
Got you very much. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Doc, go right ahead.
I was going to tell the caller that that one of the things about property ownership to gain points is that it has driven up the cost of housing, because under the present point system, you get maximum points for having property that's $500,000 or less. And so where people cannot get points for having a Cayman connections or for contribution to the Cayman society, they can get that they can make up those points by having property worth over $500,000. So there's no coincidence that nearly every little apartment now that you can buy is costing $500,000, because people need those to be able to qualify under the point system to be able to get a permanent residence.
Okay, Doc, thank you very much for that. One big shout out before we go. The happy birthday. Greetings, person's birthday today. This is coming from her husband, and it is to Mishka Wallace Stewart, who works at the in the Bronx. She works at the Pioneer Bakery, and happy birthday greetings are coming from her husband. So Mishka Wallace Stewart at the Pioneer Bakery, happy birthday greetings coming from your husband as well. I just wanted to, I'm going to leave a question, Doc, and you and I can, at some point in time, you and I will debate this, because while we agree on certain things as far as independence is concerned, and I agree with you that until our people are educated and everything else, we can't go down that direction. But I'm going to put this question out to you. The other day, and they're still in that situation, when there was turmoil in the United Kingdom, when the pound was weak and fallen, what happened to the Cayman dollar? What happened to the economy of the Cayman Islands? Did it falter as a result of that? My answer to that would be no. And my question is then, why is it that we need to have a mother ruling us? Doc, final comments from you.
We need to have the mother ruling us right now until we can take the nappies off, put on the long pants and the shoes and walk. Right now, we're not able to do that. These international institutions that we would have to subscribe to and become, they cost a lot of money.
But you have some babies that are just lazy and lazy to walk. There was some, I've heard this, there was an old saying of one person that came Islands. I won't call the name now because I don't want to embarrass their family.
Yes.
But part of the name was Look Up.
Yes.
And it took so long, for them to walk. So we may be like Look Up,
Yes. So, and we need to have an independent economic base first before we join other nations who find themselves in the power to borrow money to be able to pay their civil service, to be able to sustain themselves.
But this point about having something to export, something that we produce. We produce services, and we have tourism. We have done that
but
now.
We don't produce services. We service disasters. Those industries, when they have a hiccup over there, there's nothing to service.
That's
the problem.
That's a point as well. But our independence can be limited. There are many who believe, and we have seen that it has proven different, because the nuclear option is there.
Yes.
But political independence, to run our own affairs. People of the Cayman Islands are intelligent enough that if we get corrupt officials in there, we know how to kick them out, or we should craft laws that we kick out, those who are ineffective, those who are corrupt, and everything else. So there has to be some measure of independence, not full independence, because no country in the world is fully independent. They're dependent in one way or the other.
I favor association more rather than independence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Doc, again, want to thank you. You see all of the calls that come in when you're here on the show. When I'm here by myself, I get one, maybe two calls, but when you're here, we get lots of calls as well. So I want to thank you again, folks. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
Thank you, Ivan.
Good.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman. The voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.